god, we can totally make one of these.
I don't even think I'm enjoying this.
No, I like it.
And we did, and it's fantastic.
I adore this game. It is perfect.
The following is brought to you by loudspeak.com.
Episode 202. Episode 202. Right. There we go. There we go. Not including the little special. Yes, friends, we're here. Another week, another edition of the ChairShot Podcast. We hope you enjoyed our little Monday special there, the ChairShot Podcast annual, except not really annual, WrestleMania review special. It's been a mental week of wrestling since we recorded that, so we won't waste much time this week. It is, of course...
We picked such a good year to do a WrestleMania review, by the way, because otherwise we'd be here for longer than WrestleMania. It'd be like a 5-hour podcast.
Yeah. Yeah, so we've got... I'm just trying to figure out, God, what all the stuff we've talked about. We'll get to that in a second. First of all, those little voices you heard chirping in there, folks. I'm not doing this podcast on my own. You know, good. It's me, your host, Barry Murphy. And with me, as always, my independent co-host. First of all, Paul Movie Guff Griffin.
Hello, listeners.
And Joe Hong Kong of the Week Towner.
Hi, Barry. How are you?
Not too bad.
I was going to do it there.
I was going to say, we didn't do Hong Kong of the Week for the 200th episode. We didn't, in a show of callbacks, we didn't do that.
It's nostalgia, brother. We've got to look forward.
I think it's like The Undertaker's career.
The honk streak is over.
Yeah.
You suck!
No more honks.
What is Townie thinking? You suck!
Oh, poor Undertaker.
I don't think the Hong Kong of the Week will ever be welcome.
Forever. Anyway, we have got a show for you, listeners. I just don't know if you can tell. I'm a little bit sleepy, a little bit hungover. So we're going to use. We're going to. What do you mean? No, I just sat at home and got fall down, blackout drunk, Joe. Is that so wrong?
You're like the Adam Rose of Limerick University. Party time all the time.
This is my ex-girlfriend. This is my future ex-girlfriend.
Lovely girls.
Don't know what accent I'm doing there, but...
I don't know what accent he's doing, to be fair.
I don't know where he's...
South African or Camp British.
Well, really sure. Leo Kruger was definitely South African, but this guy is...
Well, he is himself.
He himself is. He was very, very British. Anyway, we'll get to that later. Yeah, a bit hungover, but it's a friend of a friend's birthday was last night, so I took it upon myself to get blackout drunk at their house. Anyway,
it's what they would have wanted.
It's what they would have wanted.
I saw the
Instead of a gift.
I saw the obligatory Barry, my head tweet this morning, so I knew something myself.
Yeah, well, there was also the obligatory Barry drunk tweet last night, although it was only a few because I really didn't have the internet. Anyway, do show. One. Right. Wrestling.
It's funny that Joe would point out that you sound a little bit like Scott Hall, because you sound a little bit like Scott Hall from 2009 right now. Taking an hour to do a discus punch.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Anyway, what do we do first, friends? How have you been? Dewey? I've had a good week.
Just busy, isn't it?
Yeah. Busy working 9 to 5 as always.
I work 8 to 5.
Oh, excuse me. And I work in a hall. I'm a student, and most of my assignments are finished, so I didn't even go to half my classes this week.
Yeah.
Lazy fucker.
Yeah. Well, I've been working hard all semester. This is why I'm now sleeping all day and getting drunk and being a crazy wild man. You know.
There you go.
It's my blow off, so to speak.
Blow off.
Oh God. Anyway, God, no, I need to be a bit more. I'm lying down right now. I should seriously sit up straight and do the show properly. Because of course, not last week, Monday, I did the show on no hours of sleep, and the show wasn't rubbish. It was good, but I was rambling there for about 20 minutes at the beginning, and it was pretty good, I must say. By which I mean bad. So
it's ironic as well that you did a paper about concussions and sports because you sound like you've suffered a severe concussion.
Yeah, I act like I act.
I act like.
I act
almost
like
got through a sentence there.
I act like I care about the mental health, but not when it comes to the old booze. Anyway, so there's a bevy of wrestling news we have to talk about. Not only that, but there's a lot of stuff coming up that we're going to have to discuss. But we also have the usual fun and games, CSP. You know how it goes, folks. We've got some movie guff coming up. I've played some things and watched some things. I'm sure Joe has some stories he'll tell us. And we've got the return of everyone's favorite feature. It's taking the radio world by storm. Barry puts over other podcasts. That's coming up. Stay tuned for that one, listeners. Got some good emails as well. So, Paul, what have you been up to this week then?
What have I been up to this week? Well, I was just working all week. That was pretty much it.
All right.
Until today.
Oh,
aye, because you know what movie's out this week, Barry?
I bloody do. Can't wait, mate.
Long anticipated by me and by Barry. Joe, have you seen The Raid?
No, of course not.
Okay, very good.
Oh, nice.
What is it? Is it foreign?
Yeah, it's Finn.
Yeah, I don't want to watch that.
Well, myself and Barry saw the first Raid, and between the two of us, we gave it a combined score of 20 out of 20.
Yes.
Which is pretty good, I think you'll find, for a movie.
I don't really like that sort of thing either, action in it. All that.
No.
What you mean? You love Die Hard, like everyone.
Yeah, that's funny. It's got like quips and,
Yeah, but it's not like it's hilarious. It's not like you watch it because it's a sitcom.
Yeah, but it's not just kicky, punchy kind of stuff.
What? You watch wrestling?
Yeah.
I tossed salad and the broken glass on my foot.
Anyway, whatever. Let's continue your stream.
Barry and myself for weeks now have been waiting for this sequel, The Raid 2, to come out. So I think it came out yesterday in Ireland. I actually have a funny story about going to the cinema today, which I'll tell as well. So anyway, myself and my brother, who was equally anticipating this movie, so we went into the cinema, in View Cinema in Liffey Valley, specifically to see The Raid 2. I tried to book the tickets in advance on their website, and for whatever reason my card wasn't working, so already a bad omen here. And it would only continue. So we went in to buy the tickets from a human, the old fashioned, like they did back in Decade 2. And I said, "Good morrow, sir. I'll take 2 of your finest tickets to The Raid 2, please."
For a penny farthing.
And he looked at me, eyes glazed, and said, "The Raid 2's not out yet." I said, "Do you want to check again?" Pretty sure it's out. And he looked down at the computer and was like, "Oh, it is out." So already the cinema staff don't even know what films are on. So that was no good. That was a second bad omen. So I was like, "Give me 2 tickets, please." Then he said to me, 12 o'clock?
Yeah.
This is at 12:47.
Oh.
I said, "1/2, please." And then we got the 2 tickets. So we went in to see the movie. No popcorn, no Coke this time, because we just had a Burger King. I'm not a big fat pig anymore, so.
No.
I'm merely a pig. So no popcorn, no Coke. So that was the third bad omen. This is not following my normal cinema routine. Normally tickets are bought online with no barely sentient staff trying to sell
Human
tickets to me.
interaction. Yeah.
And normally I have a big Coke, big popcorn, so none of that. So, Raid 2 anyway. The first Raid, as Barry and myself both have said, probably the best action film since Die Hard came out.
Yep.
Non-stop thrill ride, really tense, claustrophobic,
Good
great,
performances.
realistic action. None of them are in the Raid 2.
Really?
Weirdly enough. Where do I begin? It's a total mess of a film, first of all.
Right.
And I really, really wanted to like The Raid. The Raid 2. Don't get me wrong. I really wanted to like it. It's so bad. It's so bad. First of all, it's got nothing to do with the first raid at all. So if you're expecting like a continuation of the story, basically they write off everything that happened in the first raid in the first like 2 minutes. So you don't have to have seen the first raid at all. It's basically a completely different movie, starring the same one guy.
Yeah,
is practically what it is.
Have they kind of made him into some kind of John McClane figure now in this new one?
No.
Okay.
No, there's parts of the movie where like 25 minutes pass by without him in it. So you're expected to really care about these characters that are just introduced, and some of them are, without spoiling anything, killed off immediately. So you're sort of like, oh, okay. The thing in the first raid was, while it was quite a violent movie, the violence always felt earned because it was this, team of 20. What was it? 20 squad team members
thereabouts,
trapped in a building just with the enemy. So they're fighting their way out. So all the violence and all the fighting always felt necessary because it was them against the world in this tower block building. And it was all very inventive. What happens here is there will be 20 minutes of dialogue, and then a fight just inexplicably breaks out, and it's like kung fu kicks, and like it doesn't feel as necessary as it did in the first movie.
Yeah.
I think the violence it's definitely more violent in the first movie, more gory, but it actually feels like all the gore feels more pointless than it did in the first movie as well. There are some characters that are almost comical. There were laughs in the cinema at moments that I'm sure were not supposed to be laughed at because of how ridiculous it was.
Oh no.
There is a character called Hammer Girl and a character called Baseball Bat Man. And
he sounds subtle.
have either of you? There is a kill in the movie, which is, I suppose, meant to be taken dead seriously. The same kill exists in the South Park video game as a joke.
Oh, right.
And we were just looking at each other dumbfounded because it's so wacky, but the film takes itself so seriously. And what else? There's two things I really did like in the movie. The first big fight scene in a prison is actually well done and interesting because it has that same claustrophobic feel as the first Raid movie. Everything else doesn't work. There's a quite good car chase later on in the movie. And there's one shot where the car is approaching camera, and the camera actually, in one shot, goes in through the car window and out the other side. And that looks really good. It's a really good shot. And it's quite a nice-looking movie. But it's so boring. I never expected watching a Raid movie, but by the end, even the fights are boring. And I was just... it's so dull. And it's so interminable. And by the end, it's like... By the way, this movie is 2.5 hours long as well. It's extremely long.
Yeah, that's bad.
Not enough... I would say not enough fighting in it, but then the fighting that is in it it feels so pointless. Because it's just a fight breaks out in a nightclub. A fight breaks out in a kitchen for no reason. Where instead of it being them fighting their way through a tower block, so it all felt like it was necessary. In this one, again, it's just fighting. In this one, it's just violence for the sake of violence. I said the same thing about Kick-Ass. That Kick-Ass 2 felt like it was made by somebody who watched the first Kick-Ass and didn't really understand the things that made the first Kick-Ass good. I get the same feeling with this. Like the person said, well, the violence was all good in the first one. Let's do that again, but like wrap a story around it. But this was actually made and written and directed by the same guy.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I can see why some people might like it, but it really wasn't for me. It's sort of the same. It's sort of a Departed style story with Kill Bill violence. Is basically how I describe it. But really didn't work for me. Not good performances. The lead guy especially, because he didn't have to act too much in the first movie, suited it. But he is acting in this one, and you're like, clearly not an actor here. He's really not very good. And without spoiling anything, the ending I found very anticlimactic. Because in the Raid, it had sort of like a Game of Thrones style feeling where you felt like any character could be killed at any time. In this one, you have, I guess, a core group of characters who 1 or 2 especially, you don't feel that danger. It's a little Man of Steel-ish, where it's just fighting for the sake of it, and you don't feel like there's any danger because you know he's going to get to the next stage, if you know what I mean. It's very much just a series of events in that way. So I give The Raid a score of 2 out of 10. And would not recommend, would not buy, and would not watch again.
That's bad.
Boom! I've not been so disappointed since I saw Kick-Ass 2. Definitely the worst film I've seen this year.
Oh well.
That is a damning review, and I'll tell you what, I also loved Kick-Ass 1 and hated Kick-Ass 2, so that's about as bad as a review as I could expect. Because I
will give just a little disclaimer. The Raid 2 at the moment has an 8.9 rating on IMDb, so I'm very open to admit that maybe this was just me and this was just not my kind of film.
You sure it wasn't a lack of popcorn, Coke?
No, definitely not. I just found it interminable. I just thought it was so boring. So there you go. Yeah.
Fair
Raid
enough.
2. Don't watch it. Don't watch it unless like I say, I've even seen people we know give it quite good reviews.
Yeah, I mean, I was surprised you were as vehement about it because lots of people seem to really like it, but I don't know. We'll see. I mean,
my thing was, as I was watching it, until about an hour and a half in, I was hovering around like the 5 or 6 out of 10, and as it goes on, the fights become more boring, and the ending is so anticlimactic that at the end I was like, okay, that was shite.
it is. I mean, because I watched the trailer and it's quite extravagant, and it looks like it's going a bit all over the place, and it's like, well, part of what. I mean, Die Hard and The Raid are comparable for more than just being really good action films. They're both set in the one location, and The Raid is great for so many reasons beyond just the fighting. And it's such a great film. And I look at this one, it's like, well, okay, it's outside, now they're going all over the place, and there's car chases, and there's a lot more happening. You know,
without spoiling anything about The Raid, my favorite scene from The Raid, and maybe might be yours as well, Barry, is when they're hiding behind the little guy's room.
Yeah.
Nothing like that in this movie, mate. Nothing like that in this movie. No tension whatsoever.
Yeah, it's quite a tense film.
Well, this one isn't.
In the quieter moments. That's unfortunate. So yeah, that's unfortunate. I'll probably give my spiel next week.
Yeah.
Going to see it on Wednesday.
Like I say, if you enjoy it, I'll throw up my hand and say, listen, it's just me. This was just not my kind of movie at all. But
I tell you what, though, I've had to send some angry Facebook and Twitter messages to assorted cinema establishments that are not showing it in Limerick.
yeah, well, I saw it in View in Liffey Valley, which is quite a big, mainstream cinema.
Well, yeah. Well, I mean, I'm seeing it in the Omniplex, which is big as well. But it's like the other 2 big name cinemas in Limerick are not showing it, and I thought that was very weird. And the Omniplex is like 2 showings at like 6 and 9, and that's it. It's. I mean, I guess it is. I mean, the first Raid was such a big success, but it's still. It's a success, but it's a niche kind of success, especially I imagine in Ireland that people aren't really clamouring for it, so it is what it is. Gotta have 3 different screenings of Captain America and stuff.
Oh, I much preferred Captain America to this movie.
New Spider-Man movies coming out, so that movie's getting trashed in the reviews. So
I've not seen the first one, so
it's alright. It's very summery, popcorny superhero fluff. It's better than the vast majority of the Marvel Avengers shite. But yeah, second one is getting trounced in the reviews. Compared to Spider-Man 3, some of the things I've seen.
I was walking past London's Leicester Square on Friday after work, and there was a premiere going on as often is there, and I heard them doing an announcement, so I sort of stopped, listened, and he went, "Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Jamie Foxx!" and there was a big scream, and I carried on walking. So I'm sure they enjoyed that, though. Apparently he did a DJ set that lasted 2 hours.
What? Why?
Because, I don't know, it's part of the fun and games of the Spider-Man 2 premiere. So there you go.
You get to see Jamie Foxx play some CDs.
Yeah. I don't know what that's got to do with the film, or...
Was it just Gold Digger for 2 hours?
I didn't stay around and listen to
A couple of different Ray Charles tracks. Here's what you might remember, folks. Remember when I played this in the film?
Oh, he's got sunglasses on.
Also in London this week, apparently there was some Irish fella. I don't know which one.
What?
But he looked like your granddad.
What? I imagine there's an Irish fella in London most weeks.
No, but what a big one.
I have no idea.
They had flags out.
Oh, fucking yes, he's talking about Michael D. Higgins.
Yeah.
Our president.
An
How
Irish fella.
dare you? I can't believe it took me that long to get what he was.
Well, I had no idea they used it.
You didn't? Yes. Well,
Doing a
it's one of those
statement.
things where people were like, "Oh, such a great moment." It's like, is this? Don't
At dinner with
politicians?
the Queen.
Yeah, but it's like, is this supposed to be some kind of milestone moment? It's like 2014. Politicians chat. It's not 1962. And
Yeah, but it's the first state visit in God knows how, or ever. I don't know.
But it's like we know he's not going to be tarred and feathered by the British.
I tried, but
Get back there with your.
I got held up by that Spider-Man 2 premiere. So
You want to be independent? Go be independent.
It says here he's from Limerick. Is that right?
I believe so. Yeah. He's also openly gay as well, which is the. I don't know if there's too many world leaders who are. Yeah, Michael D. Higgins.
Oh, cool.
So I don't know if there's too many world leaders who are. So that's interesting.
Boxes. He's visiting the Queen. He is a queen. It's got it all going on.
That's terrible.
What? No
terrible.
disrespect. Just made a
No
pun.
disrespect. No, just terrible jokes. Anyway. So yeah, he went over there. Fair play to Mick. Good man. What has happened in the world? I don't know if I've actually just libeled him by saying he's gay. I'm pretty sure he's gay.
I don't think he is gay, Barry. He has a wife, so.
Who am I thinking of? Oh no, sorry, I'm confused. No, he's like.
I think it's David Norris. Yeah.
Oh, I'm thinking of David. Fucking sorry, I apologize.
Sorry, Michael Higgins.
I retract that statement. How did I get those two confused? God.
His wife looks like Gail from Coronation Street.
Maybe it is Gail from Coronation Street.
Would you like some tea, Gail? And I'll murder you.
Party, Maxine.
I was watching that clip the other week.
Whenever anyone brings up Richard from Coronation Street,
Pops poor Emily Bishop over the head.
I don't even remember why he was killing those people.
I think he wanted to get money or something.
Yeah, I think
You should
so.
have stayed at the party, Maxine. And then the baby, and he goes, no! And then he beats her to death. Oh,
And then poor Ashley. Oh.
Ashley. I say, Ashley, I say. What was his butcher uncle called? Uncle Fred. Fred.
Oh, Fred. He died, didn't he?
Oh, they all die eventually.
Yeah.
Yeah, all humans.
He actually was gay in real life.
Was he?
Yeah.
Okay, hang on.
In case Barry tries to slander
I'm trying
him,
to find out what year
straight.
this was in. Richard Hillman. Because in my mind, this was last week.
2002.
Yeah, about 2000.
Yeah, between 2001 and 2003.
No.
I remember, I think the last episode, he tried to kill the family in the car.
Yeah,
to drive into Canal.
Crappy song.
Yeah.
Yeah, that song has been stuck in my mind ever since. Away, up forever. Isn't that the one?
Oh yeah, that's the one. Yeah.
And then he was dead. And then the son was sending letters pretending it was him, and dreadful stuff.
And then a decade later, Paul called the daughter a mong-faced witch or whatever he called her.
That's a different family.
No, it's not.
That's Kevin.
Yes, it is.
Kevin and Sally Webster's
Oh,
daughter.
whatever.
That's not.
Barry,
separate.
amateur hour.
I'm getting confused. I don't know. A lot of people. The wrong
Get
people
yourself the Corrie box set and get a fucking clue, mate.
I don't believe there is such a thing as a Corrie box set.
Pretty sure there is.
It's aired like twice a week for 40 years.
Well, yeah, it's a big box set. Hang on, Coronation Street, the 1960s, 10-disc box set. There you go.
Imagine buying that. Anyway,
That's good.
no. But anyway, what are we talking? How do we get onto this? We talked about there was a gay fella, not a gay fella, an Irish political fella.
Some lovely fella did a visit, and it all went well. And don't know.
That was Joe's week.
That was my week. Yeah, Jeremy Fox and Higgins.
Examining pop culture.
Oh, they should do a duet, some kind of rap thing. Imagine that.
What?
Yeah.
The Irish can't rap. We can't rap. We have rappers, but they're terrible.
Spiral. Looks good.
Now the mid-2000s references on this show. I get
We're getting closer.
Spoiler, I have a bad temper and I'm Scottish. Oh, man, he was an unbelievable cunt. Yeah. Oh, big brother.
Right, I'm gonna open up my emails now. Let's go into the emails section.
Hang on.
Go into the emails. We're doing emails.
I've seen. Alright, emails, go on then.
Yeah. My first email is from Scott. Thank you, dear Scott, for emailing me.
Yeah.
His subject is movie theaters and surprising moments. So he says, "Greetings, Paul." That's me. There is a new line of theaters that while I think they are great, you would probably think are crazy. They have
They allow other people in or something?
They have assigned seating.
Yeah.
And you get a waiter who brings you food and drinks you can order off a menu.
How would Paul not like this?
You can also use the ordering system to report people who are talking too loud, texting on their phones, or just being annoying.
This sounds awesome.
And after one warning, they'll remove the people from the movie if they can't keep quiet.
Ooh.
That's pretty good. Well, we have assigned seating over here too in normal cinemas.
No, we don't have them yet. Over
Yeah,
there.
we do. So
They don't try and regulate the people.
I
They
was
get-
in old seat C10 today, one off the aisle.
Cool.
I don't know about the waiter though. I would assume the waiter brings you the food and drinks before the movie. He's not just going in and out during the movie. So that would get.
Yeah, that'd be really. Also, this ordering system, quote unquote, / reporting system, is that some kind of tablet or something on the seat? Because
Well, he says to order off a menu, so. And then, you can also use the ordering. I don't know how that would work. Well, he says you can use the ordering system to report people who are talking too loud. So presumably the waiter bringing you food and drinks is during the movie. That sounds like that would be.
he's also police. It's like Steve Blackman.
He refuses
Get
to
the
bring
fuck
food
down
and drink. If you're making too much noise, he says, no food for you.
That seems. You know what? I tell you what. That seems needlessly indulgent because you pass the sweet shop on your way to the screen. You know what I mean?
Yeah, just
And you get it before the film starts, so you don't have to fucking get up and get food. Like that seems pointless to actually have a waiter come in.
Yeah, I don't mind just walking in with a big popcorn and a big Coke on the reach arm.
I'm not big on a
Barrel of
sightseeing.
Coke. Yeah. He goes on, I'm thinking you should cut the scene out from WrestleMania of the voodoo woman doing her dance and show it to Mama and ask him what spell she was casting. Mama's been having,
Apparently not one that helped him win.
Mama's been having problems, by the way, this week. I'll get on with that. Which do you think was a more surprising moment in wrestling? Undertaker losing WrestleMania or Hogan turning on the fans to start the NWO?
Ooh, that's tough.
I would say Undertaker losing at WrestleMania because I think people were of the opinion that it was a stone wall, definite, will never happen. And then
Yeah. The writing was kind of on
Hogan
the
was being booed at the time anyway. So
Yeah. Plus, wrestlers, no matter how big they are, they all turn eventually, except John Cena.
also, Bobby Heenan said whose side is he on? So he spoiled it essentially. Also, did TNA take a page out of the WWE's playbook by making Eric Young the world champion?
Yes.
He's about as popular as anyone in the company and has been there pretty much since the beginning. Did TNA do this just to give the fans what they want and hoping people will tune in to see what's going on? Hope you have a good week, Scott.
Desperation move.
Yeah, I don't understand the logic of making Eric Young the world champion. It makes them look stupid.
Makes them look Bush League, when of course
Well, they are.
major promotion.
Yeah, I don't know. I just try not to think about TNA.
I try not to watch it or think about it.
Yeah, so that's pretty much my opinion. Yeah, they do. They're just in the last year or so. They really have, established themselves as not even that they weren't like number 2 promotion. They're not even important at all in their own, in their own book. TNA's main stars now are Eric Young, Magnus, Abyss, Eric Carter. No, what's his name? Ethan Carter.
Eric Young.
Ethan Carter III.
Yeah.
Jeff Hardy dressed like Ultramantis Black.
Like,
Antonio Banks.
MVP. Yeah,
Antonio Banks!
there's nothing there to make me want to watch it. Apparently, Saban's on the way out now as well. So
And Nick Daniels thing in Kazarian.
the what?
Daniels.
Oh, Daniel Kazarian. Yeah, still on TV.
Jeff
They should go
Hardy.
WWE.
Yeah, they should.
Be in the tag team division.
Daniels
Jeff Hardy dresses as a humbug.
Daniels is almost as old as Vince McMahon.
No, he's not. He's like 41.
Have you seen?
He's younger than Batista. He main evented WrestleMania.
Batista's like only 6 years younger than Sting.
Yeah, but Batista is twice the size.
Not now.
He still is. Chris Daniels
He
is
still is.
a string of piss of a man. So
Yeah.
Yeah, but I like how Sting did that little tease over WrestleMania weekend, basically saying he's coming in for WrestleMania 31, and then they beat the only person who theoretically anyone could want to see him wrestle. So either they're going to do the Undertaker match regardless, or he's going to be Real Estate Steve, Raw general manager, which would be rubbish because he's not, he's all right, but Are you going to pay him to come in and do that? When you could have Brad Maddox do it, you know what I mean?
You'd wrestle Bray Wyatt. That'd be good.
I guess.
Put him over.
He could wrestle. Rock said a billion years ago he wanted to wrestle Sting. But LOL, I ain't going to TNA, so.
Imagine that.
That would probably be pretty rubbish.
Okay, I have an email.
I'd really love to see The Rock wrestle Daniel Bryan.
Nah.
Have him turn heel. The Rock, that is. Anyway, go on.
We have an email here from Snrub MC.
Let's just Sting Flair again.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
It's from Snrub. I'm Mr. Snrub.
Hello.
Snrub MC.
I like the way Snrub thinks. I should have said that after the email. God, fuck.
Who signs it as MH? So I'm thinking, is this friend of the show Michael Hirsch, or is it
Mark
not
Harrod?
Way to read. He doesn't like his name being said on his own podcast.
Who's going to listen to this and hunt him down or something?
The medical.
Well,
Fraternity.
That could have been any Michael Hirsch.
The medical review committee of wherever the fuck he lives.
Let's say
I don't even know.
Argentina.
Japan.
Michael H. No, that's too obvious.
Ever.
So anyway, his subject is, yes,
Email in if you want us to give out your personal details.
He says, I have questioned, which is a good reference if anybody else gets that.
I don't get it.
He says he has questioned. So his question is, he says, apologies if this question is duplicative. A lot of people were inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame this year, and he's worried that they might run out of worthy people to induct in a few years. Has WWE passed peak superstar for inductees? If so, how many more years until there's essentially no one worthy to induct? I would say there's maybe something to packing the like this year's Hall of Fame was maybe too heavy on the big stars and not enough J Brones. Although on the other hand, good thing they got Ultimate Warrior in, because he wouldn't have been able to go in next year.
Yeah.
Of his own accord.
Well, no, don't worry, mate. It's a lot of work, mate. Don't worry.
Might have lived longer anyway.
Yeah. So
the last couple of years have been pretty stacked, actually. And I do think you've got a limited amount of old people you can put into this.
You've got The Rock, Undertaker, Triple H,
and also
Sting.
every year they do it, they're
Macho
one
Man.
year further away from. So it's like antiques. You're always getting new ones in. You know?
Yeah, then the current generation, people like Cena or Batista, all these fuckers who have to go in. You know.
Do you think it hurts people like the New Age Outlaws that they've been around recently and maybe are not remembered so much as the old New Age Outlaws? Like, would it be better if the New Age Outlaws were put in the Hall of Fame, having not returned for a few months?
I don't think it really matters. I mean, realistically, I wouldn't put them in, but they're going to get in. I see DX going in as a unit at some stage, and Evolution, and then Triple H as an individual, so you have 3 rings. And so will Ric Flair, actually, if that happens. Anyway, but yeah, I mean, we listed a couple of guys there, and there'll always be new people, and they'll just lower their standards if they have to, because people will go see the show regardless. So if the speeches are good enough, so.
Final emails from Steve. Thank you, Steve. He says, subject Kickstarter. A man started the Kickstarter campaign to raise $8 so he could buy a chicken burrito at Chipotle and then present a graph of deliciousness afterwards.
What did he give to the people that chipped in?
Yeah.
What did they get?
The graph.
It's just a graph.
Yeah.
Was it framed or?
So he wound up raising over $1,000.
Oh my god.
And then up the ante by using the $1,000 to eat a chicken burrito while skydiving. He tried to get to $6,000 so he could eat a chicken burrito in zero-gravity airplane, but he was unsuccessful.
This is the exact type of thing that the internet just gets behind for no reason. So a fella sets up a joke Kickstarter to buy himself fucking a burrito, and $1,000 are raised because people just are mogs. It's like
Fair enough.
The internet is just so preposterous. There was actually like when Twitch plays Pokemon was happening. I can't remember who said it, but someone on Twitter was like, there isn't enough hours of cynical market research that could tell you how successful that would be. It never would have been predicted. And it's like the internet will always surprise you with the things like that gather momentum. It's hilarious. But at least he did something fun with it. And he do skydiving, was it?
Yeah. So Steve is wondering, is this a blatant misuse of Kickstarter or a genius idea to get a chicken burrito? I think it's both, really. Would you have donated? No, because I don't donate to people.
Yeah, I've never donated to
Throw
Kickstarter.
my money in the bin rather than donate.
You know what? I did my first crowdfunding thingy-majig recently, but it was not a Kickstarter. It was not anything. A friend of mine was doing some kind of fuck. I don't even remember what it was. It was a fundraising endeavor, like for some community outreach program for some shit. Because I knew the person personally and it was a good cause. I sent like a quid, and her target was like $75. So it's like whatever, it's a good cause. It was basically a charity donation, but it was done via a faux Kickstarter site. So yeah, but I've never backed a game or a book or a film or anything of that nature because I don't know. This seems a bit dodge.
Yeah, I mean, I like give to charities and stuff, but I wouldn't for a game to be made or something. I just let it happen. If it doesn't happen, so be it. There'd be more games to play. So
Yeah,
don't really care about that sort of stuff. Would I eat a chicken burrito while skydiving? I don't eat burritos, so no.
you don't eat burritos. Burritos are good.
Just have some chicken.
I tell you what, I don't like. I don't.
Well, that is what a chicken burrito is. It's just a chicken. It's just chicken in a thing.
It's just chicken in a wrap. Yeah, we don't.
Keep the wrap. Just have the chicken.
That's just like a burger bun, Paul.
What do you lads think of burritos? No, sorry, we were just talking about burritos.
They're great.
Sorry, no, tacos.
Don't
They're
eat.
crumbly. They fall
Yeah,
apart.
it's messy
Pointless.
and those corn shells are just like not nice.
Yeah, true.
So it's like of all the meaty sandwichy things, the kebab is king, obviously. But I don't like.
If I have a fajita that goes hard, like I'll chuck the tortilla in the bin.
Yep.
That's basically a taco.
Yep.
I just like a nice grilled, lean fillet chicken. It's nice.
That's what's in the burrito.
Yeah, but don't put it in the burrito. Just eat it.
With all the other shit.
Just eat it. Just eat the chicken. Don't worry about putting it in a.
Oh, yeah. Don't worry about flavour.
Chicken has a flavour. What are you talking about?
Chicken on its own
It tastes
doesn't
like
have a flavor.
human. That's what chicken tastes like.
Chicken. You know what? Chicken on its own does not have a flavor.
It does. What are you talking about?
No, chicken is the water of food.
That's true. That is true.
No, it's celery is the water.
Well,
Chicken.
No, that's the water of
is the lovely food of food. Chicken is very much the chicken juice of food. Chicken is... You're idiots. Chicken is delicious. Oh, I could eat chicken all day. Turkey's better. Turkey's the money chicken.
turkey. Oh God, no.
turkey. I tell you what. Not even on holidays, like Christmas, right? Do I have turkey? Turkey is the driest, plainest shit in the world, and I can't believe. I can't believe it's this
Turkey is
premium
dry
product.
and there's no fat in it to give it the tastiness.
Yeah. Chicken is great in the sense that it's versatile and you can cook it. You can, there's a million varieties of chicken. But I tell you what, nothing worse than on a Sunday when the Sunday roast is chicken on its own without any flavoring with spuds. Like, oh, don't come at me with that shit.
Oh, I cannot believe what I'm hearing. And turkey. I'm sorry you guys live in households where turkey's not properly made. But turkey is wonderful. Turkey is the chicken on steroids. Love
Yeah,
turkey.
literally.
Exactly. Yeah. Rubbish.
That's why they die so young.
Chicken is the
Let me
Easter.
eat the corpses then. 'cause they
Chicken is the Easter eggs of meat.
Easter eggs are great. You are foolish.
Hey, we're at Easter week, by the way. Happy Jesus. Oh, no, we're not. Next week.
Happy egg.
I've only had 2 eggs.
Happy crucifixion.
They're all my emails anyway. Thank you, everyone.
Wait, no, was Jesus born on Easter or did he die? Oh, no, he was born on Christmas.
Is
Also,
Michael
apparently-
gay or what's going on? Who?
Jesus wasn't gay, apparently, Barry. No, you tweeted something about his wife.
I didn't tweet. I retweeted somebody.
Oh, so yeah, you retweeted. Yeah.
The story on like the Telegraph. It's like they found this little bit of scribe, right? And it's like a transcript of a conversation Jesus had, where he said something blah 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 my wife, and I was like, this is someone sitting around a billion years ago writing this, who obviously
Yeah.
who doesn't like Jesus. Where's the evidence that it was actually a transcript of something he said? Like they verified that it's real and from 2,000 years ago, but that doesn't prove that he actually said it. I could write, who's that politician I slandered earlier? I could write that he doesn't have a wife and that he is gay, and in 1,000 years ago, well, we've verified by the smell of beer and semen that it comes from Barry's room, but that doesn't.
What are you talking about?
That doesn't mean that they'll then believe. Anyway, what am I talking about?
They'll be listening to this podcast in 200 years' time, and they'll be like, "Oh my, who's gay?" And they said it. So
When CSP is the only historical record of anything, because the
Really, the only
internet.
podcast still going.
Yeah.
Episode 80,060. Welcome.
Oh,
Like Michael
baby,
Higgins
hear the
said in it.
blues are calling. I can't remember the rest. We'll be making references to Frasier long after Kelsey Grammer's dead and all his fans.
Do you have emails then, lads?
I do.
We'll
I
read
do.
it then. Damn it.
Joe, do you want to go first?
okay. Scott emails in WWE Hall of Fame speeches. Good afternoon, Joe. While watching the WWE Hall of Fame speeches, since Mr. T loves his mama so much, I wonder if Vince had known he was going to mention it so much, if he would have had the Funkadactyls come out to dance him off the stage with modified lyrics of "Somebody loves his mama, somebody loves his mama." I did love that during the Warriors speech when the fans started chanting "one more match," he just looked out at them and said "no," which made the crowd start chanting "yes," which made me laugh.
Yeah.
I don't think Vince knew he was going to do a mental speech. If he did, he probably would have said he only got 5 minutes. Do you think that with all the spots that Kofi Kingston does at Battle Royals, will he ever be allowed to win one, or is he just a guy you wait to see what spot he's going to pull off? The second one, because he can do them, and he always does them successfully, so fair play to him.
The thing is, if you're booking him to do a wacky spot, which involves him always getting eliminated, surely you can't book him to win, because what if he fucks that up? Like, he could easily slip any one of these years.
That's true. That is
you
true.
know, risky, isn't it?
Good point, Barry. By the way, I saw the tweets about fans streaming out of the arena after the Taker loss, and I started watching the walkways to see if anyone was leaving and didn't see people leaving the arena. I wonder if people knew there was going to be a break between the Taker match and title match, and just took the Divas match as a chance to hit the bathroom and or buy a shirt. Hope you have a great weekend, Scott. I don't think there are that many people really leaving.
I think that was exaggerated.
Like
yeah.
probably a few dozen or something in the whole arena.
Couple of
And yes,
girls.
there probably were also people leaving to go to the toilet. So yeah, the combined effect may have made it appear like an exodus, but it wasn't. So thanks for that, Scott. I also have an email from Steve, who says, subject, Panto. I was watching a Louis Theroux documentary, and they kept referring to a Panto. I thought it was some kind of drag show at first, based on the costumes. But it appeared to be a play for small kids. What's the deal here? Is this just a UK thing? Or is all of Europe doing this?
I think it's just, well, we do it in Ireland too, but I think it's just an us and UK thing.
Yes, it is more... I think it is just an exclusively sort of British-Irish thing. It's basically a play that you have at Christmas, and they do kind of traditional stories. And over the years, it's basically become a vehicle for Z-list celebrities to do a play and make a bunch of money. So if you've seen extras with Ricky Gervais, you'll have seen Liz Dennis doing Aladdin.
Yeah.
It's basically that kind of thing.
He's behind you.
And the crowd plays along. And,
Oh, no, he isn't.
yeah.
And
I
in fact,
haven't been to one since I was little.
I think Magnus was doing Panto a couple of years ago, wasn't he?
He did it like last year. He was the genie, wasn't he?
Let me Google this. Nick Magnus is joining the cast of this year's pantomime Aladdin from the Norwich Theatre Royal. Don't know who he plays, I don't say. Yes, so that is a pantomime, so thanks for that, Steve. That's all my emails.
Kind of a British institution in the sense that it's, you know.
Yeah, it's very strange. Very hard to explain. Sort of like teletext. I don't think I could explain that to an American either.
Oh, yeah, man, imagine that. I wonder if they must have a counterpart to teletext over there.
I don't know if they did.
Hmm.
So I remember Colt Cabana and Cesaro discussing it on his podcast, and he was trying to explain what CFAX was to Colt Cabana. He didn't really understand.
Well,
So it's just a European thing.
those are emails?
Yeah.
All right, I've got an email here from Chris. We do email her actually, Chris. He says, in short, do you know if the Preston City wrestling shows are any good? Might check them out next. They're in Liverpool. Oh, okay. I assume that's Chris is from Liverpool. Chris, PCW has a very good reputation to my knowledge. I've seen some of the matches. They have free ones up on YouTube. You can search PCW. I tell you what, you can search PCW Chris Hero Akira Tozawa. That is a phenomenal match they have up on their YouTube that you can watch for free. Great match. They bring in the best guys from the States. They have top tier talents from the UK. They get some legends in there as well. Just gotta put the butts in the seats, as they say. A good friend of mine actually went to one recently, the one where AJ Styles would have killed a man. But other than that, it was a good time and a great wrestling show. And highly recommended. Good atmosphere at those shows. Good matches. If they're in your neighborhood, I would recommend you go and send us a report. Tell us how you enjoyed it, and thank you for your email. My next one here is from Scott. He says, last week you mentioned that you saw someone eating on the bus and were kind of creeped out. Did I say this? Makes sense that you wouldn't want to have food on the bus. Just think of all the germs and filth that are on the bus, and you're bringing food there to eat. I don't remember this, but yeah, I think I don't know if I was creeped out. Did I talk about how the smell bothered me? I can't remember.
Yeah.
Anyway, by the way,
Scott, he'd know.
Well, yeah. Well, yeah, exactly. Sorry to question you, Scott. He says, by the way, congrats on coming very close to getting the number of WWE Network subscribers. You guessed 700,000. Actual figure was closer to 660,000, which was well below what people expected. I wonder if the numbers will lower because not as many people were interested in it, or if the numbers will go up with Mania being over and people finding out about the stream worked perfectly, and if they were concerned they'd miss out on the stream didn't work. Yeah, I think there was a little bit of reservation there. Whether or not it'll go up, though, I don't know.
I think it depends on the Mania number to see how high that is.
Yeah.
So it could be that there's still a lot of people willing to switch over if they were more comfortable with using online streaming. So there are a lot of people that just don't like the whole idea, don't really get it.
Yeah.
So,
HBO Go apparently had more problems recently. So, it's streaming. Streaming in the mainstream is seemingly as dubious as it is for the indies and what have you. But anyway, also, with the success of the streaming WrestleMania, do you think the fans will be even more forgiving if a company like Ring of Honor does an iPay-per-view and can't keep their stream working? I didn't order the last ROH show because of my previous experiences with them. When they tweeted out that they had a great show coming up, and why haven't the fans pre-ordered IPV? I responded with, I'm still waiting on an apology for the last IPV. They basically took my money and never provided the show, never said there was a problem, never did a make good. Just thanks for the money that could bother me. Yeah, well, their PR is great. Apparently, it took them they don't do live pay-per-views now, but you buy the show the next day on video on demand. And apparently, it took them until Wednesday to get the WrestleMania weekend shows up, so they were way behind. Do you think in 5 years people will remember this pay-per-view more for the fact that Daniel Bryan won the title or the Taker lost the streak, definitely.
Yeah.
That's going to be a big conflict. As for people being harsher on Ring of Honor, yeah, I mean, it's just a simple case of those with money like New Japan and WWE are pulling it off. And, thank you for your email as always, Scott. Next, we got our resident check-in from the Bay Area, Steve. My wife's parents informed us we had to attend a farewell party for my wife's cousin. At the party, I asked him where he was moving, and he said he was moving 20 miles away. 20 miles away, that's it. A marathon is longer. Am I crazy for thinking a farewell party should be for a much further distance? I think it needs to be at least 100 miles to earn a farewell party. What do you guys think?
I travel 10 miles to work every day.
Yeah, I still say I
It's
walk.
a 20-mile round trip.
I'm trying to recall.
I jogged 8 miles just before this podcast.
But yeah, I think that's nuts. But it's people had an excuse to have a party. Maybe I don't know. 20 miles in the States, that's nothing. Maybe how large is this gentleman? Is walking a big deal for him, or maybe is he wheelchair bound?
But if he's really big, he's never that far away, is he?
Fucking hell.
His feet could be 20 miles away. There he is. Hello.
Thank you, Steve, as always, for your emails. That's all my emails.
Cheers, Steve.
We finished it? That emails?
Yeah. Let's do it.
Right. Wrestling news then. Oh, where to start? I suppose we can start with the bizarre and unexpected passing of the Ultimate Warrior on Tuesday.
Yeah.
I was going to say Jim Ultimate Warrior Helwig, but that would not be giving his actual name. He is Warrior. That is his name. Or was his name. He died of a catastrophic medical event, was the terminology used, which, generally speaking, that's how I would describe a death, is a catastrophic medical event. It's not very specific, but did they elaborate on that? Was there any more details? I don't recall.
No, not yet.
Right, yeah.
If there was an autopsy... No, am I thinking of Peaches Geldof now?
Yeah, no.
Dead, and there was an autopsy.
What's the Australian name? Warrior or Peaches Geldof? I don't know.
They're both warriors to me, Joe.
I don't think Features Geldof is that weird a name.
One of his kids is called Indie Warrior. Which I thought was what they called, like, Daniel Bryan or Cesaro.
Oh, no. Indie Warrior. Yeah, you know what? There was actually, like, you know, people, like, it was so weird on watching the Hall of Fame and just seeing people react to his Indie Warrior and Maddie Warrior, I believe, are the kids' names. But I tell you what, I was surprised when he died. I was like, "Oh, that's sad," you know, because he seemed to really care about those grandkids of his. So it was like, "No, they're his kids." I was like, "What?" Apparently they're 9 and 11, I believe, or 11 and 13. I can't remember.
Yeah.
But and he had them when he was 40, I think.
Yeah, it's probably not that old these days, is it?
He remarried, yeah, and so he had them. Fair play to him. But yeah, he passed away just like 24 hours after Raw. Very, very weird story, obviously, given the nature of the hatchet burying in the Hall of Fame, and then the "we all die, you know, but we want to be immortalized" speech that he did on Raw, which was very weird. He made his first appearance on Raw in 20 years, you know, the day before. So yeah, and his death sparked quite the media fucking
Furore,
because there was basically two sides of the coin. There was people who wanted to remember him as the Ultimate Warrior and an icon in professional wrestling and a childhood hero. And then there was people like, lads, this fella was a bit of a mental case and a bit of a not very nice person, so let's stop the hero worship.
He was a homophobe. He was just generally a bit mad, a bit bonkers.
A bit mad, yeah.
Yeah.
Then there was the whole Nancy Grace situation, which she got Diamond Dallas Page out to talk about Warrior, and it just became a steroid witch hunt again. She said two things, as she does, and wrestling fans were incredibly annoyed.
She claimed Owen Hart died from steroids.
Yeah.
Well, like, she was discussing wrestlers who died from steroids, and then she ran this ticker of wrestlers who died young. She didn't directly say it, but it was heavily implied, and people got very offended.
Yeah.
So yeah, she's
a complete idiot.
Yeah.
One of those classic American news mongs.
Yeah. So how did you react when Warrior died?
I don't know.
I was walking to work, so I learned this first thing in the morning at like 7 a.m. I went on Twitter for... Why did I even go on? I don't remember. I was checking something else. I saw Warrior dead. I was like, what? He was just on Raw.
I found out... This is weird. I found out about it from Instagram. There's people publicly look at all these photos of Warrior. I was like, what the fuck? Yeah, I know, it's Warrior. I've seen him. So he looks like he's big and jacked. And I didn't even read any captions, and I read one. I was like, "Oh no!" One of the pictures had like 1950 whatever, 2014. I was like, "What?" And that's how I figured it out. So, well, yeah.
I mean, it's sad when anyone dies.
Yeah.
So I mean, whether you're one of the people who harp on about, how he was, and admittedly, he did say things that don't sit right with a lot of people. But he was an entertainer, and he was pretty fun the last week when he had it. And now he's fighting Randy Savage in heaven. I need to see that image again on Twitter, please.
Oh God!
First of all, Elizabeth up there as well.
It's a cringeworthy shit.
And Cherry as well. Oh my God! All the people from that match are dead.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Chris Benoit in the image as well. Just throw him in there, even though he murdered his family.
Oh, they're up there as well. The family.
Yeah. Also, heaven does not exist. So.
tall. Cynical tall.
It's Richard Hillman, he's up there.
Someone please make an image of Richard Hillman, the Ultimate Warrior.
Richard Hillman and Benoit. Just hanging out.
That is the real tragedy, the death of Richard Hillman. He's still alive in my heart. That's where he lives. Would you like some tea, Gail?
I'm putting out a request on Twitter right now for an image of Ultimate Warrior and Richard Hillman in heaven.
Oh, God. So that was the main news of the week.
Yeah, it overshadowed everything else that came out in that. It's been a mental week of news, but that got a ton of media, mainstream media press, obviously Time, and just everyone talking about it.
Yeah. I do think it was unfair that they sort of used his death to badmouth WWE again, given that he hadn't been with the company at all, and in fact had been at loggerheads with them since about 1994.
He probably hasn't been on steroids in 20 years either, has he? I mean,
yeah. Although Nancy Grace, without resorting to name calling, is a bit of a bitch.
Fat pig? Oh, yeah.
Oh, no. Oh.
She's a horrible human being. I remember I was in America and she used to be on. When I was in America for like holidays, she would be on the TV. I remember, was I on holidays? Yeah, I would have been on holidays in the immediate aftermath of the Benoit tragedy. Because I was in July 2007.
Wait a minute.
No, hang on.
You were in the location.
Hang on, honey. I need to take a stop over in Atlanta. Unpack the Bowflex.
But I remember Mark Miro being on.
Where's my Bible?
Nancy Grace, and she's such. she's the worst of the worst, like of humankind.
Yeah.
Ugh. When she dies, I can't wait for the TV shows that will parrot her death. That should be ironic. She's a horrible human.
Yeah, she's pretty bad.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of wrestlers just were very personally offended because she paints in such broad strokes, you know.
Yeah, I mean, but then the American, news media is very like that in America, whether it's Fox News or NBC or whatever. It's funny because there's no one impartial news source. Everybody has their own agenda. It's all very editorialized in America.
Yeah.
Whereas over here, I mean, of course, you always get to an extent some of that, but generally, I find the news over here is quite impartial, which is sort of what's meant to do.
At least try it, anyway.
Although RTE libeled that priest. That was it.
Yeah, but I just find it incredible that something like Fox News in its current format.
That over here would be off the air so fast. It wouldn't get on the air in that form. Like it's mad.
Weird. Yeah,
because we have news that's sort of held to a certain standard where it should aspire to be in the middle, whereas over in America it's like they don't have news media that's in the middle. They blatantly and unashamedly fall to one side or the other.
Yeah.
And it's your choice to watch one or the other. It made me very uncertain about reading the news or watching the news if I went to that country, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Anyway.
Careful. Anyway, Anne Doyle would be spinning in her grave if anything like that came over to Ireland. So what else? What other news is there this week?
So, as Scott alluded to, the network figures were announced, and they were,
of course, they were
667,000 subscribers in the United States. Well, altogether, because we know people internationally are using. So basically, the deal here is that they're shooting for 1 million or between 1 and 1.5 million to break even.
Mm-hmm.
And they didn't expect to get that, but they did expect to get much closer to it than they got. And the idea is that they would start off with like 800,000 or something strong, and that they would build up as they got more momentum and they got more, the stream got better and stuff like that.
Yeah, I would have to.
They're not having a bad foot. Like, shouldn't turn your nose up at the figure they have, but I'd
have to consider that a disappointment, though.
Yeah.
Given that for all intents and purposes, it's a worldwide number.
And I mean, also as well, the break-even figure moves the second they move internationally. I think there's a really good there's a statistician who works for the Observer and he writes his own articles as well.
Yeah,
Chris
I love reading his stuff. Chris
Harrington. Yeah.
Yeah.
And he noted that the
I posted his stuff on the ChairShot account before.
Isn't he Jon Snow?
But he noted that the break-even figure goes up by another 250,000 when they move international. So I think it's going to be a big success for them internationally. But yeah, it's very interesting because it's not a great number, and there's already apparently talk that maybe WrestleMania won't be on it next year, and maybe it's going to go up price, by $5, and this, that, and the other thing. And it's just, I have a funny feeling by the time we legally get it over here, it's probably going to be a very different thing to what it is currently.
Yeah, it'd be interesting as well when we see the WrestleMania pay-per-view figures when they come out.
That would be pretty interesting, yeah.
Apparently they're not calling them pay-per-views anymore, by the way, which is...
You mean the... What?
Yeah, going forward they're called special events. Do you mean the special event?
Does that mean in future kids will say, "What's a pay-per-view?"
No, in the future, kids will go, "What the fuck is wrestling?" Oh, yeah, that thing that went out of business there when the guy who owned it went insane and shot up his headquarters and turned the gun on himself.
Vince McMahon's looking really old these days.
He is really old.
Like, if you had asked me, you know that picture that was put out of Ultimate Warrior and Vince?
Yeah.
If you had asked me which one of these is most likely to drop dead in 2 days, Vince McMahon is not looking like a normal human these days.
He's dyeing his hair again, and it's terrible.
Yeah, he's not looking the best. And he's got a stressful job as well, so...
Yeah.
Weird.
How's he stayed alive this long?
I don't know, because didn't he allegedly
All the steroids.
abuse steroids himself? Yeah.
Well, that's not alleged. I think that was verified in the court, wasn't it? He was... No, wait, no, he was acquitted. I don't know. Let's not libel any more people tonight.
No, it's not.
But, come on. Yeah, so that's that. That's going to be interesting to watch going forward. It's going to be interesting waiting for the WrestleMania number. It's going to be interesting. I guess theoretically they're going to announce the network figures at every one of those conference calls. They just did it after Mania because that's the big milestone. But yeah, we'll see. I think it's kind of a fallacy though if they think the number is going to go up from here because theoretically WrestleMania is the peak of interest. So
yeah, I assume in 6 months' time it'll go down.
It'll go down. Yeah,
that's cancels.
I think people are going to start panicking if that happens. No, I'm already kind of panicking. The stocks went down 20% the day of that announcement. So
yeah, I think if they did a bigger number, it probably would have gone down just because stocks are like that. But
yeah, I tell you what, this whole WWE Network thing has kind of got me thinking. Analysts and investors on Wall Street, they're kind of reactionary.
Oh yeah, it's all bollocks.
I thought the stock was going way too high before the network. I was like, what? This is even if it's a success, it's not going to be that much of a success.
Yeah, it's got nothing to do with business. It's all just like gambling and speculation.
Anyway, so the streak ended. I mean, look, we talked about WrestleMania. We don't really talk about that. Did you read that interview with the shocked Undertaker guy?
I did.
No, I didn't.
It was Triple H saved his life.
Yeah, he's like he talked about how he actually wanted the streak to end, and he talked about how he wanted Triple H to end, and Triple H was his favorite wrestler. And he told a story about how he was
Eugene,
like,
is it?
No, it was the
Triple H.
It was the bespectacled African American gentleman who did the face when the streak ended. And he's talking about how he was like 350 pounds at one stage in his life. He was a big fat fucker, and he got.
We're libeling anybody anymore.
No, that's not libel. That's not libel. He's not libel. It's true. Anyway,
I think you need to prove that in court of law, Barry.
It's subjective, but yeah.
First and only time this will ever be said. But he bought Triple H's book, and it turned his life around. Triple H's his fitness book, and he legitimately got himself in shape. Like you saw him at WrestleMania. He's not a svelte young thing, but he's not a gigantic blob. He's a regular proportioned human. And he met Triple H at a fan event one year, and he talked about how he broke down in tears. He told Triple H he saved his life, and it was a good read. It was interesting. It was WWE.com have kind of upped their game lately in terms of putting out some interesting quality articles, and it's not just it's still a PR site, but it's not all fluff. So that was good. Finding the source of a meme and getting to know him, that was good. What else went down this week? Jeff Jarrett, in the middle of all this, announced his wrestling group. The Global Force.
I forgot all about that.
Global Force Wrestling.
Oh, God.
With a logo sort of... okay, so, if Nickelodeon were doing an episode, a wrestling-themed episode of some of their sort of mid-90s kind of sitcoms...
Sister.
Sister. Roger becomes a wrestler, but they a deal fell through and they couldn't get WWE involved, and so they had to make up a wrestling company they would come up with this logo and name. It is Global Force Wrestling, which is, first of all, that's totally lame. And the logo is just those words against a wireframe globe.
Yeah.
So yeah, very lame. But whatever. Let's not be too harsh. They announced literally nothing else. So other than the fact that the Karen Jarrett are involved, and they have another announcement tomorrow. So that might pertain to some talent. That might pertain to a TV deal. We don't know.
You can get an official
Not tomorrow, sorry, Monday.
T-shirt now, by the way.
That is true.
Yeah.
The website is hilarious looking. It's really, really terrible.
Yeah, it's really terrible. Yeah.
As soon as I launched it, Shockwave crashed as well,
Yep.
which is quite funny.
And their press release on their website and stuff is pushing all this interactive, listen to the fans, hashtag this, hashtag that.
Also,
Sounds insufferable.
it still has like 3 silhouettes at the top. So, I mean, they have nothing to push. I mean, why did they announce it if they have nothing to say?
Well, I think they're going to trickle information out, but I think the first announcement should have been a lot bigger. Because everyone knew everyone knew it was a wrestling company. You know what I mean? He didn't shock the world by announcing that.
The Shock Master.
But I guess on Monday we will find out. Hopefully we'll find out if someone signed. I don't know who he would sign though. It's not like there's a huge name out there that he can.
The Blue Meanie.
AJ Styles maybe. AJ Styles is another. Well, he just started a New Japan, so I guess not. Although I guess we don't know. We don't know when soon this. How soon this is starting? Maybe it's Davis. That would be.
David to GFW.
That would be fascinating.
And they'll blow the whole budget. And he'll be their only wrestler. And he'll just wrestle Jeff Jarrett every week.
That'd be alright. I'd watch that once.
For 4 weeks until it goes out of business.
Let me see.
Daniel Bryan got married today.
Daniel Bryan got married. Congratulations to him.
Well done, lad.
Congratulations.
Mr. and Mrs.
Beard.
Mr. and Mrs. Ring of Honor World Champion.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, GFW, yeah, we talked about that. Christy Hemme is now on the creative team in TNA.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
there's that.
Yeah.
That's
Is she creative mind? Do we know?
I think in the Observer it said something like she's involved in like costume consultation or something. It seemed like when John Gaburik announced it on Twitter and he's like, I'm adding her to my team. I think he might have been overstating what she was actually doing. I don't think she doesn't have the book, brother.
Can she be any worse than the people that are doing it already?
No, I don't know. I don't think so.
No.
She seems like she has a clue. I mean, she's milking them for like a couple $100,000 just to announce at ringside, so she's doing something right.
That's pretty much all the main news, isn't it?
That was all the main news, yeah. Unless Raw did a huge rating, obviously. Yeah, I think that's all. I think that's the crux of the
By the way,
news.
I mentioned Mama earlier,
Oh yes, go on.
so just go back to that. Mama is looking for help now, so I'm going to send his cry for help out over the podcast. Mama, for new listeners, is a man I work with. He's probably mid-50s African gentleman who believes in voodoo and believes that his neighbor is doing a psychic attacks on him 24/7. So every time you go over, he'll pull his trouser leg up to show you that it's being burned. Or he gets his head burned sometimes. He always wears a hat. So what he's been doing is scouring the internet for ways to protect himself against these psychic attacks. So he signed up to for an evaluation, basically. So he paid €30
Oh my
for
god.
someone to tell him.
Psychological? Oh.
No, spiritual voodoo.
He went to the local witch doctor.
Yeah, and they were like, yeah, they gave him like a full, all things he put in, they came back like high risk of very strong black magic, and all this. And at the end, it was like, for full protection, you have to pay €300.
Oh,
And I
God.
was like, Mama, this is so blatantly a scam. And he's like, well, I've not paid it yet. And I was like, Mama, don't ever pay it. Don't pay ever. And he's like, well, I've not done it yet. So I'm afraid that he's going to pay this spoofer $300.
God.
And it's over the internet, so it's not like somebody's coming to wave a crystal over his head or whatever. This is just the internet. Someone will email and go, yeah, you're protected now, you should be alright.
God.
Like, that's all it's going to be. And I'm like, Mama, what are you doing?
Oh, my God.
Don't email these people. So he asked me if my mother knows any spiritual healers.
Tell him that I'm a spiritual healer. I'll sort it out for him.
For the low price of £300.
Let's call it 200.
Oh, there you go. Deal. I was like,
Danny Griffin is
so I immediately forgot this request. I was like, yeah, right. I can go home. That's what matters. So the next day he comes up to me. He's like, did you ask? Did you find out if she knows anyone? I was like, no, she's not going to know anyone. He's like, well, you didn't even ask. I was like, yeah.
Did he try having hot milk before he goes to bed?
Well, that's the problem. He must be cool. He doesn't want to be hot.
Right.
So that's the mama update. He's having a tough time of it.
Oh, poor mama.
So I'll update accordingly if he finds anybody to help him. But
Maybe we should set up a fake website.
oh, by the way,
And you can point him in the direction of it, and then we'll just send him an email.
I don't want to scam this poor.
No, we're not going to. We'll say we'll
man.
do it for €10 or something.
Right. Well, the other thing is he's also been hunting down information about this woman who he's convinced is attacking him, who I'm sure has just no idea what's going on, and why this crazy man keeps coming to her asking her to stop attacking him.
Oh, he
Yes.
has confronted her, hasn't
So
he?
not only 3 times he has. He not only took a photo of her,
Oh, God.
but now he's showing us on his computer now. He also found her on Facebook and Twitter and took the photos of her off that
Oh God.
to do
What?
spells on her.
Making a sort of shield collage. He's gonna paint all those pictures of her on, a cork board covered in holy water.
I don't know.
Oh, mama.
Poor lad.
Sort yourself out, lad. Come on.
There's no reason with him.
No.
So, Raw then.
Alright, who wants to do Raw then? Interesting, Barry.
I'm not trying to find it now because my Observer subscription ran out today.
Well, it opened with Daniel Bryan. We know that much.
Oh, yeah, it wasn't. This was a very good Raw, by the way, first of all.
Oh, yeah.
I wasn't so sure about the whole Daniel Bryan segment at the beginning, though. Because even though he's the new WWE World Champion and he looked great at WrestleMania, he looked a bit like a geek here. Because he came out all smiles, and Triple H came out and was raging at him, and he's like, you're not going to come into the ring? So he just walks up to him and starts doing his yes bounce. And
He always does that, though.
just looked like a little child doing it. He didn't look like a badass world champion.
He's not a badass for a champion.
Well, he is, because when he fights people, he beats them up. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, but in the ring he's a badass.
But in the ring, he's a bit of a geek. I mean, when he was talking here, he didn't seem like the guy who kicked Triple H's ass and hit him in the head with a sledgehammer the night before.
No.
He was, I think he was too flippant about everything, making jokes about everything again.
Yeah, possibly.
And, yeah. I wasn't a huge fan of the segment, I must say.
Yeah, what was that? It was
One thing
just
about
does
Daniel
get-
Bryan,
He gets serious at times.
I know, but I think I'm I'm nitpicking to an extent because he is so good. But his inability not to crack a smile.
Yeah, that does annoy me a little bit.
Yeah.
He's always grinning like a competition winner.
Yeah, but it's like he comes out. Yeah, exactly. He comes out and the crowd are yesing him, and he can't believe his luck, and he has to crack a big toothy smile. And here I am. They like me. You know, that's the
Here I am.
feeling I get sometimes. So yeah, Triple H was basically saying that you're not going to be champion for long because you're going to defend against me. I was like, oh my god, big main event.
It's gonna happen.
Yeah. We then had Orton and Batista arguing with Triple H backstage,
Yep.
and they were given a tag team title shot for later in the show.
Which they evidently didn't want.
Yeah, they were like, I've already been a proper champion, what would I want them stupid titles for?
Yeah.
They were very flippant about the potential of becoming champions. What else then? Then we had John Cena, Big E, and Sheamus versus the Wyatts.
Yep.
Big win for the Wyatts.
Is it though?
Yeah, I think so.
Who they paid? Big E.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even so. I mean, Big
Cena,
E's a bit of a geek, but you know, that's a big team to be.
Big E was also booed in this round. I think it's not his fault. He's on Team John Cena.
Kind of is.
I don't have a counter for that. Fair enough.
Yeah.
Match was okay.
Yeah. It's good.
Yeah, that was quite good. We then had Fandango and Summer Rae against Santino and Emma.
For the last time. Fandango and Summer Rae.
They're no longer together, as per Twitter.
Oh no.
Twitter.
Yeah,
And
it's with Layla now.
he upgraded to certainly the age stakes.
Yeah, upgraded by about 20 years, probably.
They've got someone who can dance as well.
Yeah, that's the other thing, yeah.
When her knees aren't too bad. Yeah.
I watched that. That's the only bit of SmackDown I watched is Layla being the dancer. It was good. It was good.
The actions of an obsessive.
What? Oh yeah, someone
I want SmackDown just see Layla dance with
someone sent me the YouTube link. Oh, I'm fucking crazy.
Well, that says more about you that someone would seek out the YouTube link of it and send it to you.
Oh, but it's so hard to find WWE's YouTube channel.
Oh, gotta send it to Barry. Layla's on TV for the first time in 8.
Yeah, because they know I want to see it.
Well, I watched it as well.
But not enough to watch the show.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway.
Lesnar and Heyman came out then with the really good segment. Really, really good. Brock didn't do anything. I don't know why they keep paying him to show up and do nothing. But Heyman was really good here. And he talked about The Undertaker collapsing after the show and going to hospital and put over how Lesnar did this to him. And, really, really good.
Mafu just tweeted, I usually don't listen to people hyping action films as they usually disappoint. But go watch Raid 2, really.
Okay, well.
Friend of the show, Mafu.
Yeah, do you want me to bury him? Paul?
Has Kevin Steen seen it yet? What's he said about it?
I don't know.
Let me ask him. I'll ask my pal Kevin.
Give him a text or
I'll give him a bell.
get him on WhatsApp. Kev, what's up, mate?
Yeah,
Right?
Kev, bro, what's going on? K-Dog. What's good? Oh. Anyway.
Clearly Matthew has a lower standard of film than I do. So yeah, really good segment with Paul Heyman and the Brock Lesnar. We had Adam Rose vignette. The Usos and Randy Orton and Batista had a 1-minute match that ended in a DQ when they beat up the Usos too much. RVD returned to beat Damien Sandow in a nothing match. Bad News Barrett beat Rey Mysterio in an upset.
God save our queen.
Let me tell you, you know what? Let me tell you something. This segment annoyed me.
What?
Because, I'll tell you what, right? Bad News Barrett is a bit shit.
That's great. What are you on about?
And, they put Rey Mysterio in here to die. That was terrible. Because Bad News Barrett isn't going to be over a lick next week. Right? And I thought it was a lame thing to pop the crowd that they should have done sort of after the show or something. Because you see, he's not. I like Wade Barrett, but he's not going to go. If his gimmick is Bad News Barrett, he's not going to go anywhere. You know what I mean? I just feel like it was a waste.
Name. It's like Bad News Brown.
It's not. No, it's not just the name. It's the fact that his gimmick is that he just.
Yeah, but he's probably not going to do that anymore.
Did it here?
That's probably just to get him back on TV.
Well, anyway.
How do they use Ray though as a
a sacrificial lamb.
Yeah.
Well,
if they use him very sparingly, he could be like a once a year.
I would have much rather him have a long, good match with someone else than
He can't anymore, can he?
go out there to get a cheap pop for a guy who won't be.
Will be main eventing WrestleMania.
Rusev then had a match for a change.
Oh, I'll skip this.
I quite liked it.
It was alright. It was fine. I think Rusev was okay.
I like he does the camel clutch and he has like no emotion on his face whatsoever.
I was gonna make a joke about making Zack Ryder humble, but that fucker couldn't get any more humble at this stage. Get any more humble, he might.
I like Rusev.
He's okay. Lana's good. Lana's a pretty lady with the nice legs.
She's American, by the way.
Yeah.
She's fake Russian.
She also did some modeling before.
She's not Russian. She's Bulgarian, isn't she?
No, she's from America.
She is from America. Yes.
No, but
No, the character is Russian.
the character is Bulgarian. Yes.
No, it's Russian.
No. Oh yeah, she's the Russian.
There's something Russian. Yeah.
The ravishing Russian.
Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, and he's the Bulgarian beast, I believe as well. But yeah, his match was okay. She, by the way, she was modeling before WWE, and there's some her pictures out there.
If you're into that sort of thing.
Yeah, sure. But yeah, the squash is okay. I like his music. I like that he has like a weird Eastern European nameplate.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
That's pretty good.
Then we had the very sad Warrior segments where he was like, "Lads, dying right now. See you later." And then he died. He didn't die on Raw, but
I don't think he came out and said, "Lads, I'm dying."
for all intents and purposes, he did.
He cut a very unusual promo about someday your last heart.
It wasn't that unusual for the Warrior.
You know what? Actually, it was stunning.
He was saying that stuff in the 80s, to be honest.
It was pretty lucid by his standards. He put on the mask, and he put on a mask, rather, a Warrior mask, and talked about how every day, eventually every man will breathe their last breath, and they hope to be immortalized, and blah, blah, blah. And, it was unusual, but it's been well documented, obviously, the weirdness of that situation.
He looks ridiculous with the mask on, by the way.
It looks ridiculous anyway.
He's
even
too
like,
big for his face.
in regular clothes, because he's one of those Americans who has ridiculously white teeth.
He put the mask on, and the slits for his eyes are too small. So you see his eyes peeping through. It's very
He
strange.
should have come out in the mask and then took the mask off and revealed he was wearing face paint. That'd have been cool.
Yeah, that would have been cool.
Like that time Sting wore a Sting mask.
He should have taken the mask off and revealed he was Sting.
Oh, see.
That would have been like...
I bet Sting's furious. First he wanted to wrestle the Undertaker, then he was thinking, oh, maybe I could do an Ultimate Warrior reunion. Maybe we can get back together.
And he was planning on dying the day after all.
That would have been very much like a Doctor Who moment where Warrior morphs into Sting. Sting's the new Warrior. Sting had already been Marty Jannetty by Warrior and they were a tag team back in the 80s. So, Stingo, whatever his name was. Then we had AJ coming out, cutting a promo that I skipped. And then Paige came out. She's a new wrestler, right?
Yeah.
And she was like, she cut a pretty bad promo.
No.
Pride and knowledge, Rebecca.
Oh, bloody hell, AJ.
Hey,
I'm here
bloody
to
old,
congratulate you, the old bean. How's it going?
Hell, who's that? Who's that lad from Ireland over here?
And then AJ just arbitrarily was like, here, have a title match for no reason.
The
And
description
then
of this
they
was,
had a shite match. And
the description of this was weird.
Paige beat her with a botched finisher, and the whole thing was terrible.
Yeah, this is a rubbish debut, basically.
Yeah. Joe thought it was good, though.
Weird, and it's weird.
No, it was not
Just,
good, Joe.
yeah.
British
shit.
bias about this.
No,
It was contrived and poor.
It wasn't the best segment on the show. That would be the Wade Barrett segment. But yeah, that's probably second best.
I think it was probably the worst segment on the show, if I'm honest.
No, because
What was worse than this?
That one where they thanked the fans.
What?
Oh yeah.
They thank the fans for making it all possible. Which isn't true. The fans are just idiots.
Well, the ones who thought this was a good segment, anyway. So Hogan come out.
Was that next? They had the video package for the fans next.
I think so. They had Bo Dallas commercial.
Oh yeah, we forgot to mention those.
Bo.
And Adam Rose. Impossible isn't a real. It's just I'm possible.
So Hogan came out, and he was like, "Brother, here's a trophy. I'm leaving," and that was all he did.
Police.
So Cesaro got the trophy.
Did we mention the Brock Lesnar segment?
Yeah.
Oh, I wasn't listening.
No, we
Sorry.
didn't. Not yet.
Yeah, we did.
No, we didn't.
Was I the only one talking about it? We did.
No, we didn't.
Brock came out with Heyman. We did. And I
No,
said it was good.
how would we not talk about that for 20 minutes? Because that was the best thing on the show.
Well, what you going to say about it? He did a really good promo. We talked about it.
No, we didn't. We talked about Warrior.
You might have talked about it.
to someone else.
Me and Barry weren't listening, but we didn't say anything.
What is there more to say about it?
It was
Brock
great.
Lesnar came out
It was
with
great.
And
Grand.
No,
Yeah,
it was one of the great Raw promos.
I
of the
pointed out
last,
that why did they even have Brock Lesnar on it? Because he never does anything.
Oh, but that
You've got
wasn't-
half in there. He's the star.
But that wasn't talking about the segment. We didn't discuss the segment. We said why is Brock he doesn't do anything.
have to say? You just read his transcript?
Paul Heyman came out with him.
He mouthed, "But I didn't say I told you so, but we told you so."
Anyway, we don't need to talk about it. What?
Next. Yeah, then Adam Rose had a vignette. Oh,
That's the most Wall Joe.
Yeah, that's it, isn't it? Is that not the music?
What else did he do in that video? He was on the party bus.
And then there was bunnies and
Oh yeah.
you got to have a really big party. You need some little people. Oh.
And then Kanye West was playing, and then he did all the coke and just.
Yeah, and then
So anyway, Cesaro is not with Zeb Culture anymore. He is now a Paul Heyman guy. What?
What?
Yeah. So Paul Heyman came out and called him the King of Swing, which I like as a name.
I thought it was going to be a thing where he would be a face with Cesaro and a heel with Lesnar, but apparently on SmackDown he got a returned heel, which seems foolish to me.
Well, Heyman has done that before, where he was a heel with Brock and a face with CM Punk.
yeah. It was.
That was what he briefly does to set up the heel turn on.
Yeah, but he did it. It was alright.
Yeah, I think I wish he was a face, but this has to be a good move for Cesaro, you know.
So,
He's better than Curtis Axel.
Swagger came out and broke the trophy. So the trophy didn't even last the first year.
No.
And then Heyman was cradling just the top of it, the Andre part,
Yeah.
for the rest of the segment. And Cesaro beat Swagger via countout when Swagger just left. So
Yeah.
there was a good segment backstage with Stephanie and Kane and the Shield, where they accidentally let slip that Triple H was the one who had sicked Kane and the New Age Outlaws to attack the Shield.
Yeah.
Which would lead to later.
Mhm.
We then had the WWE title main event.
Hang on, have we talked about the Brock Lesnar segment?
Kane and Mankind had a Hell in a Cell, huh? Are they still wrestling around?
Oh, baby, I hear the blues calling. Oh, what's his face is going to be in the Expendables with Ronda Rousey. Now you have to watch, Paul.
Kezzy Grammer.
Yeah.
Yeah, that news came out about a year ago.
Oh, well, then, not in my world, it didn't. I just found out, so there you go.
Yeah.
Stallone, you don't just sip sherry out of the bottle like that.
I see Wade Barrett.
I hope they have like a German Shepherd attack dog on the team, and it climbs up on Fraser's mounted railgun, and he's like, "Oh, for goodness sake, Dad!" Oh, Niles.
Is there a dog in Frasier?
Oh, come on!
God.
I don't know.
Watch Frasier, you awful
Why did I
man.
watch Frasier?
They reference that in The Simpsons.
When?
And when Jasper is on the jury, and he goes, "Hurry up! I gotta go shoot the dog from Frasier. Ride the whale from Free Willy." Something like that.
The dog is the show, mate. How do you? I can't believe you haven't seen Frasier.
Why would anyone watch Frasier? Frasier's not high on its priorities. Frasier.
It's gold.
It's gold.
It's on UK Gold, phone. Still channel.
Yo, it's on Comedy Central. That and Friends.
A boop a doop doo, scrambled eggs. Oh, I'm using the adjective instead of the adverb. What an idiot I am.
Oh, you watch. That's your homework next week is to watch a couple episodes of
Well,
Frasier.
I'm not watching it.
Oh, sorry, you're gonna go watch. Oh, I have to go see a Carte Blanche is airing down at the theatre. You know, it's a wonderful film about paper set in France. They didn't have subtitles, but thankfully I didn't need them.
Yeah, there was a movie called Carte Blanche came out in 2011, actually.
Anyway, yeah, Frasier ran until 2005, I think. Anyway, Brock Lesnar came out.
So we had Daniel Bryan against Triple H.
And Paul Heyman talks about the streak. Go on.
And Batista and Orton came out and beat up Daniel Bryan before even Triple H made his entrance. And then Kane came out. And he was going to chokeslam Daniel Bryan, which he did. And then Triple H came out and he made the referee ring the bell. So he's about to lift him up and give him the pedigree to finish the job, win the belt. And out come the Shield. So they all stand on the apron. Triple H trying
Hands
to
of justice.
Yeah, hands of justice chant. Triple H trying to keep them separate. Say this is not going to happen. This is not turn into a war. Turns around into a spear from Roman Reigns.
Woo!
Brawl. Reigns hits Kane with a Superman punch. Triple H is laid out. And the Shield are going to presumably give him the power bomb. But he's dragged out of the ring. No, he doesn't. Sorry. He doesn't he get kneed by Daniel Bryan?
Yeah.
Sorry, that's what happened. And then I think he got dragged down and pulled away. And Bryan and the Shield stood tall as a big stare down, led the show off the air.
Yeah.
So that's really interesting. Bryan and the Shield against Evolution and Kane, essentially.
Hell of a thing. Yeah.
Except that Kane isn't there. It's a bit...
Yeah, I'm hoping that they just go forget that bit and I'm hoping they just do Shield versus Evolution and then Bryan does something else. Like he has a separate title match. Preferably not
a 4-on-4 if it's done as a special attraction match. I think that could be pretty.
I just don't think it helps having. I think it looks better on a marquee if it's Shield and Evolution. You don't need Kane in there. You don't need Bryan in there. You know.
Yeah, but Kane could be the Ric Flair.
He really couldn't. He could barely be Kane at this stage. But yeah, that was Raw. Some interesting stuff. I'm curious as to what's going to be on the Extreme Rules card. I wonder if they're going to do Brock versus Bryan.
Brock versus Sting.
That would be a bad idea. He'd murder him.
That'd be great.
Funny thing is, if they do Brock versus Bryan, is that I wouldn't say if ideally I wouldn't have a problem having Brock with the title, but he's not gonna have the title because he's not gonna be able. He's gonna disappear again until SummerSlam, so he can't win. So do you beat Brock Lesnar a month after he breaks the streak? I mean, they beat him a month after he showed up, so why not? I suppose. If you're gonna lose somebody, it should be Daniel Bryan. So. But that's speculation. I don't know what they're doing.
I think they need to keep Brock strong for a year.
Yeah, they really should. They really should.
I don't know whether having him lose to Daniel Bryan.
They should give him the undefeated streak. He should not lose for the next 2 years.
He has lost at WrestleMania, though, hasn't he?
Yeah, twice.
No, I mean not a WrestleMania undefeated streak, just a general undefeated streak.
In a row. He's on one so far. Or a conquer.
No, because
he take Undertaker's 21.
2. And he beat Triple H. He's 3 in a row. He's 3 in a row.
He beat Triple H, Punk, Big Show, Undertaker. That's 4. Look at that.
Oh, 4. 4 in a row.
Ooh. His previous record was like 1 in a row. Because he lost to Cena, he beat Triple H, and then he lost to Triple H. Can't believe he had 3 Triple H matches.
He even won 4 in a row in the UFC. Oh, no.
He only had 4 matches.
Yeah, he won 4 in a row in the UFC. That was the most.
Oh, okay. God, they should. I bet you they're gagging to get him back so they can market him as the man who ended the streak.
What? So a bunch of skin-headed, tap-out shirt-wearing
Mongs.
Yeah, are gonna go streak ended by this guy.
Mm-hmm.
Was I telling you guys about? Maybe I mentioned last week how I was in Wrestling Mania. No, it was last Sunday. I was in Wrestling Mania, which is where I buy my UFC shirts and that. And, yeah. I was looking at the wrestling t-shirts. They had actually all the proper licensed wrestling shirts in.
So, he just printed them himself.
No.
Rise above hat.
They have the WWE authentic tag on them. So we were looking at them, and I was with my friend Steven, who is a wrestling fan. He wouldn't be a UFC fan, I don't think, but he watched wrestling. And I was showing him some UFC shirts, like the kind of shirt I would buy. Like I have my Alexander Gustafsson one, my Conor McGregor one. And I was like, you see, these are nice functional shirts. Like they look good as shirts. They're not just. I mean, I buy them because they are MMA themed, especially.
He wanted a Daniel Bryan flying goat one.
And then I was like, you see these tap out ones. Like these are the kind of ones like I would. And I grabbed the holder one. I was like this one here. Like I would never buy these kind of shirts. I looked over at your man at the counter.
He was wearing them.
He's wearing exactly the same shirt.
Oh my god!
And this is a tiny shop. I was like, oh, anyway, what's over here? Yeah. It's pretty much exactly.
Nicely done. Nicely done.
It was a fun
Did I tell the story about? I think I did. I'll tell it again. Me and a friend of mine were like when we were about 11. We went to one of those awful indie wrestling shows in the university, where it was people pretending to be the WWF stars.
Okay, yeah.
You know those, Paul, surely.
Yeah, I know the ones you kind of what you're talking about.
They're not much of a thing anymore, but they were a couple of years ago. People would pretend. It was wacky. Anyway, and I got a shirt there. This was clearly a bootleg shirt, by the way. So I don't know how this show was even running. But anyway, bought a shirt there. It was for the Undertaker or whatever. A couple of weeks later, me and my friend are walking around the shopping centre, just like bored. We went into a toy shop. We were looking around. We were about 11 at the time, and just got these two like teenagers. They're like 15, 16. Were in there, and they were trying to be funny. They're such a pair of douchebags, and one of them looked at me, saw the Undertaker shirt that I was wearing, and he said, "Huh, what's that say? Underpants taker?" I said, "What? That's not even a... I don't even know where to start with that." And I literally just walked away. I didn't even answer him or storm off. I walked to like a different aisle just to go away from him. He killed me. He did. Oh, he skewered me. No street cred after that. But yeah, T-shirts anecdotes on CSP. And with that, I think we're going to come to a close because I'm watching back. Come on, Eric Young within the world time will get to fuck. Yeah, so we'll be back next week with the usual mix of... Oh, wait, no, we won't be back next week. Well, you guys can do a show, but I won't be here next week. I'm going to Dublin.
What?
I forgot to... Yeah, I didn't forget. I've been saying it for weeks. But yeah, I will be away all Saturday, and I probably won't be home in time to do a show on Sunday. So it's probably going to be Townie and the Griff on Stupid Radio or whatever. Or maybe Townie and the Griff on Footy Radio. Who knows? That'll be next week, so look forward to that. Well, yeah, I have to do something to my show. Get what's his face in to guest host.
MH.
Yeah, if he wants to. AB. Get AB on air.
The fuck is AB?
Who just figure it out? I'll tell you off air. Anyway, Chinch.
I can't remember his real name. What is it?
Well, I'm not going to say it on air because he.
Oh, you're right. Yeah. Sorry, I got it.
Anyway,
I was confused.
The point is, I won't be here next week, but don't worry. So, in the meantime, everyone, ChairShotPodcast.com is where you can go to listen to this episode, to the last episode, to the WrestleMania special, and to every other ChairShot Podcast episodes where the episode archive is. You'll also click on the Email Us tab and do just that. Email us, pick your host, fill in your details, and send us a little thingy that we will discuss on the show. You can follow at ChairShotPod for updates on the show and also some live tweeting. For further live tweeting, you can follow at The Barry Lad, at Griff Tannen, 2 N's, and at Paul Griffin CSP. So, with all that said, it is goodbye from me, Barry Murphy. Goodbye. It is goodbye from Joe Towder.
Goodbye.
And it's goodbye from Mr. Paul Griffin.
Bye.
This podcast was brought to you by LoudySpeak.com.